Hand Heart Pocket, the charity of Freemasons Queensland, continues its philanthropic and charity work across Queensland and in Papua New Guinea with $4.52 million in support given in the last year to help strengthen families and communities. At a grassroots level, Hand Heart Pocket has worked with Freemason lodges to support charitable initiatives through $590,000 in grants that will help make a difference in local communities. Hand Heart Pocket also rallied with Freemasons to provide almost $360,000 in disaster relief to Queenslanders affected by bushfires and drought. Emergency support of almost $750,000 was given to some of Hand Heart Pocket's charity partners and to grassroots charities identified by Freemason lodges to help them navigate through the coronavirus pandemic. At a statewide level, Hand Heart Pocket's significant and flagship grants have supported programs and initiatives that help improve outcomes for youth at risk, men's mental and physical health, women's financial and physical security, and our ageing population. Let's take a look at some of the ways Hand Heart Pocket's larger grants are helping to create an impact. With the help of Traction, at-risk youth in southeast Queensland, like Riley, have newfound confidence and hope for their futures after engaging in an alternative, action-based learning environment at Traction. The Youth Mentoring Program was awarded a $100,000 grant from the Freemason charity for their internal scholarship program, with a portion also helping the organisation to better understand, manage and measure the impact it is making. Young carers in Queensland, like Sibal, will receive more support to complete their schooling, boost their confidence and create hope for their futures as Little Dreamers rolls out the Young Carer Project pilot in schools across Townsville, Bundaberg and Brisbane using a $380,000 grant from Hand Heart Pocket. Young people who provide unpaid care or assistance to a family member are in the top 4 most marginalised youth groups in Australia. Young LGBTIQ+ people in Brisbane who experience a variety of life challenges will benefit from an $80,000 capacity building grant to Open Doors Youth Service, the organisation who provide more than 2,000 young LGBTIQ+ people each year with support for homelessness, family breakdown, mental health issues and alcohol and drug addiction, have been able to engage a specialist to help them develop a framework to better understand, measure and manage the impact it is making. More young people with a physical or mental health injury, like Bryce, will get a hand up to transition into paid or voluntary work, thanks to a grant of almost $480,000 to Happy Paws, Happy Hearts from the Freemason charity. The Happy Paws, Happy Hearts program brings socially isolated youth together to care for and train rescue animals to ensure they are job ready. The grant has allowed the organisation to build on this existing program in the Greater Brisbane and Ipswich region to create employment pathways for around 110 of its participants in the next year. 30 more people with a lived experience of mental illness in the Toowoomba region will gain vital skills and support to transition into mainstream work through the Vanguard Laundry Service Employment Pathways program, thanks to a $277,500 grant. The grant helped to fund the upfront capital needed to grow the social enterprise, to take on larger clients and service new clients. A further $100,000 in emergency support was later given to help the organisation weather the pandemic. People with a disability in southwest Queensland, like Bernard, will experience greater independence and dignity as purpose-built respite and short-term accommodation becomes more accessible in the region. Care Gundawindi was awarded a $281,000 grant from the Freemason charity to help cover the funding gap to construct stage 1 of a $1.5 million facility. This hand-up also gave them the confidence to secure a federal government grant to complete the rest of the project. Older Queenslanders with hearing loss will be empowered to increase their social networks by staying connected, following a $110,000 grant and a $110,000 interest-free loan to Hear and Say. The grant will fast-track the growth of the non-profit's new Adult Hearing Program, a social enterprise which gives participants access to technologies like hearing aids or cochlear implants and skills to manage the everyday impacts of hearing loss. Vital support services continue to be accessible to vulnerable young families in crisis, helping them to break down barriers and create their own futures, with Micah Projects receiving a $400,000 grant and a $400,000 interest-free loan from the Freemason charity. This support has allowed the organisation to retain a community asset, the Wellspring Hawthorne Hub on Brisbane's south side, and continue providing early childhood programs and wraparound services to vulnerable families experiencing homelessness, domestic violence, or who are going through the family court, justice, or child protection systems. Without a facility, these programs can't operate. Hand Heart Pocket, the charity of Freemasons Queensland, is proud to have worked with Freemason lodges and its charity partners this year to help strengthen families and communities.